Welcome to another episode of Life Reflections, written by Sam Deepak Thomas, brought to you by Bookmark Ed. A man prayed for 20 years asking God for direction. Same prayer, same words, every single day. One day God asked him, "Why do you keep asking when I've been answering you all along?" The man was confused. "I never heard you speak," he said. God replied, "Because you never stopped talking long enough to listen." That line hits uncomfortably close to home, because this isn't just his story, it's ours. Most of us pray like we're leaving a voicemail. We speak, we list our needs, we say amen, and we move on. Prayer becomes a one-way transmission, talking to Him, broadcasting, dumping, hoping. But prayer was never meant to be a monologue. It was designed as a conversation. There's a subtle but powerful difference between praying to God and praying with God. When you talk to someone, you're performing. When you talk with someone, you're connecting. One is noise, the other is relationship. Somewhere along the way, we turned prayer into a ritual instead of a relationship. We learned how to sound spiritual instead of how to be honest. We memorized phrases. We followed formats. We filled the silence because silence felt uncomfortable. But real conversations don't work like that. Think about how you talk to someone you trust. You speak, you pause, you listen, you respond. Sometimes the most meaningful moments happen in the gaps between words. Prayer works the same way. When we rush through prayer, we unconsciously treat God like a suggestion box or a drive-through window. Order placed, request submitted, done. No expectation of dialogue. But talking with God means expecting a response. Not always a voice, not always words. Sometimes it's clarity. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's an inner nudge that won't leave you alone. Sometimes it's discomfort that forces you to rethink. Sometimes it's a door quietly closing while another opens. The point is not how God responds. The point is that you leave different. That's the difference between praying and performing. We've also been trained to pray in a language we don't even use in real life. Polished words, formal tone, carefully structured sentences. But when something really matters, you don't speak like that. You speak from the heart. Messy, honest, unfiltered. God doesn't want rehearsed speeches. He wants relationship. Talking with God looks less like reciting a script and more like sitting across from someone who knows you completely and still wants to hear you. It means asking hard questions instead of hiding them. It means admitting doubt instead of pretending faith. It means sitting in silence long enough to notice what keeps rising to the surface. Silence is not empty. Silence is where listening begins. Most of us are uncomfortable with silence because it exposes what's really going on inside us. Our fears, our distractions, our unresolved thoughts. But that's exactly where God often meets us. Not in the noise, but in the stillness. When you pray with God, you don't rush away the moment you say amen. You wait, you linger, you stay open. Sometimes nothing seems to happen. Sometimes everything shifts. But over time, patterns emerge. You start recognizing certain thoughts that bring peace and others that drain it. Sometimes it isn't loud or dramatic. It can be a very low, soft voice inside your head. A gentle nudge that feels quiet but persistent. You notice guidance appearing through unexpected conversations, repeated ideas, or sudden clarity. You begin to sense direction even before circumstances change. That's conversation. It's not about getting instant answers, it's about alignment. And here's the quiet truth most people miss. The moment you stop talking, you give God space to respond. Try this the next time you pray. Say what's on your heart, no performance, no filters. Then stop. Sit in silence for 60 seconds. It will feel awkward. Your mind will wander. You'll want to check your phone or move on. Stay anyway. Because somewhere in that silence, something shifts. Maybe you won't hear words. Maybe you'll feel peace. Maybe clarity will come later. Maybe nothing will happen immediately, but you've changed the posture of prayer from talking at God to talking with Him. And that changes everything. Prayer was never meant to be a speech. It was meant to be a relationship. God isn't distant. He isn't silent. He isn't playing hard to get. He's been waiting for us to stop talking long enough to listen. Now go have a real conversation. He's been ready all along. Thanks for listening. If this made you pause, smile, think, and reflect, that means a lot.